Can you hear me?
Yes.
I apologize, I'm late. I lost track of the time. I was reading the end of the big time. I admit I couldn't resist. I just wanted to make sure Lily didn't have any lines. Okay. Well, it is a thrilling ending. Is Laura Lila here? Greta.
Laura Lila is here.
Oh, good. So, Muscle Spark isn't here today, so we're not going to do the Stars My Destination, chapter 5. We have a PDF for highlighted from Lost. How kind that is. That's great. But uh, that particular chapter has a lot of gully foil. So, but we have three other fabulous stories. Steam Bath, which our director Ray has been really putting some time into, because I don't know if you realized it, but the file that we originally had, I kind of found, and I'm not really sure of the source of it. I kind of put it together, and it was pretty scrambled in my head, but he is doing a lot of work on it because he got the DVD and he's transcribing it, and that movie is fabulous. So uh, we're going to continue with that, and he's been adding dialogue, which is so cool, and even adding to the narration. And the big time, we can do that because I think Muscle Spark got Rocky to pitch it for him, and I see I have a long list here, but Rocky's there on my list. I just don't see everybody in the audience, so that's okay. Um, as I understood it, and Rocky will tell me.
I think I was doing Bo and Mark, but
You're doing Bo and Maud
Mark. Oh,
in Steam Bath.
oh no,
Is that what you're doing?
it's okay. I'm confused. Don't worry. Steam Bath, I
What did
don't
he
know.
arrange you to do?
I don't think he did anything, any arrangement that I know, but I could be
Well,
wrong. I'll just check my mail.
okay. I wasn't quite clear, but I thought that he in the big time Multiple Spark reads Bruce, doesn't he? I think that's who he reads. And so I thought he had arranged this. Maybe Ray, did he arrange any substitution for you to do Bruce, or I wasn't quite sure. I didn't quite get what he was saying in his email, that he arranged something, and then in Steam Bath he reads. Who does in Steam Bath, Ray? I forgot.
Oh, what he said was, I usually read Bruce's part. Is there anyone who would be okay to cover those lines? Question mark.
Covered what? Which lines? I'm sorry. I'm not
Bruce's
hearing very
part.
well.
There's a few lines in,
Okay.
but he
In the
didn't.
big time.
Yeah, he didn't assign that. He just threw it out. So he had Paula, Ray, others. Question mark. Question mark.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Okay.
It's okay.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Or
I
someone
think
else.
that's a great idea. No, I think that's fine. He said that you had the PDF for the big time. He sent it to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got
Yeah.
the newest one, chapter 13. He sent us the link for, I guess, is that Google Drive that he's sending us a link for? I'm not quite understanding how we download it, but anyways, all that new technology. But I don't know. It's Ray. Since I'm kind of directing the big time, I'm going to go with that. And then Ray, you're directing Steam Bath, so whatever he did Red and Steam Bath, you can find a substitute for. And Myra, I think you kind of play it by ear, so you're just not going to sign Must Will Spark any parts this week for Jesus Christ. I didn't. Did I get? Did you include a part assignment in what you
Okay.
sent out?
What it is, it's already made up in set 8. Set 8 goes all the
Oh,
way through the
okay.
page 66.
Okay, so you're going to have to be in charge of making sure that Must Will Spark is not on that assignment
Uh,
sheet.
yeah, I'll get a substitute for Lazarus.
Okay, good. Um, and so we're not going to read Star's My Destination, and we're gonna. Ray, do you want to start with the steam bath, or should we start with the big time? Ray's
See,
not in.
can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, well, we can start with steam bath. I just sent it out about 5 minutes ago. I don't know if everybody saw it written in chat, but
Oh no, I didn't see it.
Yes,
So
I got it.
let's start with the big time because I want to get steam bath while we're doing the big time, and everybody should have gotten that because Muscle Spark sent it out yesterday. Does everybody have that? It's a small PDF. It's easy to download. Actually, he just sent out the link from Google Drive. It was a very small PDF, and unfortunately, well, Greta, Laura Lila, come on up. I know you're here, and we're starting at the beginning of chapter 3, and Eric, where's Lost? He plays Eric. Is he here? Good, he just arrived. Come on up, at Lost. And then Bruce, Rocky, you're reading Bruce. So he comes up like on the second page. Bruce and Eric have an exchange, second and third pages.
I think I have Bo and Mark as well.
Okay, well, we won't get that far.
Okay.
Let's see. I think that we should just read chapter 13, which is, let's see, the first 4 pages of our PDF. And then we'll go on to Steam Bath, and we'll go on to Jesus Christ. How does that sound?
It's good.
Good.
I just, I gotta get my Swedish accent quota in for the day. Okay, I'm gonna step down and let you guys take over.
Okay, so we're starting right at the top of chapter 13, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 13. Is everybody ready? Yes.
You guys got everything? You got
Yep.
it open, the PDF?
Yes.
Okay, chapter 13. But whence he was, or of what womb bore, of beasts or of the earth, I have not read. But certes was with milk of wolves and tigers fed. Spencer. The tiger is loose. I guess when they really pushed a button or throwed a switch or springed a traps or focused a beam or what have you, you don't fade or go crazy or anything else convenient. I didn't. Everything, everybody, every move that was made, every word that was spoken was painfully real to me, like a hand twisting and squeezing things deep inside me, and I saw every least detail spotlighted and magnified like I had the 7 skulls. Eric was standing beyond a tomb chest. Little smiles were ruffling his lips. I'd never seen him look so sharp. Illy was beside him, but not on his side. you understand. Mark, Seventy, and Bo were around a chest to the nearer side. Bo had dropped to a knee, was scanning the chest minutely, terror under control, making him bend his head a little closer than he needed for clear vision, but with his hands locked together behind his back, I guess to restrain the impulse to push any and everything that looked like a disarming button. Doc was sprawled face down on the nearest couch and out like a light, I suppose. Us four girls were still by the control divan. Cabby was surprised. That surprised me because she didn't look. Sorry. Us four girls were sitting still by the control divan. With Cabby, that surprised me because she didn't look scared or frozen, as mostly as intensely alive as Eric. Sid had turned back, as I'd said, and he had one hand stretched out toward, but not touching the minor maintainer, and a look on his beardy face as if he were calling down death and destruction on every boozy rogue who had ever gone up from King's Lynn to Cambridge and London, and I realized why. If he thought that the minor maintainer a second sooner, he could have pinned Eric down with a heavy gravity before he could touch the buttons. Bruce was resting on one hand on the head of the control divan and was looking toward the group around the chest, toward Eric, I think, as if Eric had done something rather wonderful for him, though I can't imagine myself being tickled at being included in anybody's suicide surprise party. Bruce looked altogether too dreamy, drama blast him, for someone who must have the same steel-spiked thoughts in his head that I knew damn well the rest of us had, that in 29 minutes or so, the place would be a sun in a bag. Eric was the first to get down to business, as I have laid any odds he would be. He had to jump on us, and he wasn't going to lose it.
Well, when are you going to start getting Lily to tell us where she hid the maintainer? It has to be her. She was too certain it was gone forever when she talked, and Bruce must have seen from the bar who took the maintainer. And who would he cover up for but his girl?
There he was, plagiarizing my ideas, but I guess I was willing to sign him over to him in full. He got us the right pail of water for that time bomb. He glanced at his wrist.
According to my caller, you have 29 and a half minutes, including the time it will take to get the door or contact headquarters. When are you going to get busy on the girl?
Bruce laughed a little, deprecatingly, so help me, and started toward him.
Look here, old man. There's no need to trouble Lily, or to fuss with headquarters, even if you could. Really not at all. Not to mention that your surmises are quite unfounded, old chap, and I'm a bit surprised that you're advancing them. But that's quite all right, because, as it happens, I'm an atomics technician, and I even worked on that very bomb. To disarm it, you just have to fiddle a bit with some of the arcs. Those hoopy little crosses. Here, let me.
Allah il Allah, but it must have struck everyone as it did me as being just too incredible an assertion, too bloody British, a barefaced bluff, for Eric didn't have to say a word. Mark Seventy grabbed Bruce by the arms, one on each side, and he stooped toward the bronze chest. They were gentle about it. Then Eric spoke.
Oh no, Bruce. It's very sporting of you to try to cover up for your girlfriend, but we aren't going to let ourselves be blown to strip atoms 28 minutes too soon while you monkey with the buttons. The very thing Benson Carter warned against. And pray for a guesswork miracle. It's too thin, Bruce. When you come from 1917 and haven't been on the big time for 100 sleeps, and were calling for an 8 tech yourself a few hours ago, much too thin. Bruce, something is going to happen that I'm afraid you won't like, but you're going to have to put up with it. That is, unless Miss Foster decides to be cooperative.
I say, you fellows, let me go. I know it's a
struggling experimentally.
I know it's a bit thick to swallow, and I did give you the wrong impression calling for an ATEC, but I just wanted to capture your attention then. I didn't want to have to work on the bomb, really. Eric, would they have ordered Benson Carter to pick us up unless one of us were an A-Tech? They'd be sure to include one in the bally operation.
They're using patchwork tactics?
Eric grinningly quoted back at him. Kebby spoke up beside me and said,
Isn't Laura Lila Cabby?
"No, I'm Greta."
Okay, but no, but Cabby is just got a speech here, and I thought Laura Lila was Cabby.
"I'll be Cabby."
Laura,
Benson Carter
Laura,
was a magician of a... Pardon?
I was, but I thought somebody took it over. I don't mind taking it.
no,
back.
come on, go
Laura
on up
should
there.
do it
Come on,
then.
take your. Yeah.
What?
Take your part. We're on.
Yes,
you
yes.
got the PDF. Get it open, and we're
No,
on
I've got it.
3.
I've got it. But last
Good.
time somebody else did it because
I don't know whose, but you do it this time because you're who I
I
remember, and
sure
I'm doing.
will.
I'm being the director today.
Okay, thank you. You're a good director, and I have the part up. So just let me get
Good.
back to it. Okay, if you want to give me my
So,
lead
but-
in again.
Yeah, give the
Cabby
let
spoke-
Eric go back to your line, and then go back one to your line, Eric, so that Laura can give Cabby spoke up beside me. Okay.
They're using patchwork tactics?
Eric grinningly quoted back at him. Cabby spoke up beside me and said,
Benson Carter was a magician of matter, and he was going on the operation disguised as an old woman. We have the cloak and hood with the other garments.
and I was wondering how this cold fish of a she-officer could be the same girl who was giving Mark slurpy looks not 10 minutes ago.
Well,
Eric asked, glancing at his collar and then swinging his eyes around at us as if there must be some of the old Wehrmacht iron somewhere. We all found ourselves looking at Lily, and she was looking so sharp herself, so ready to jump and so at bay, that it was all I needed at any rate to make Eric's theory about the maintainer a rock-bottom certainty. Bruce must have realized the way our minds were working, for he started to struggle in earnest, and at the same time called,
For God's sake, don't do anything to Lily. Let me loose, you idiots. Everything's true, I told you. I can save you from that bomb. 7C, you took my side against the spiders. You've got nothing to lose. Sid, you're an Englishman. Bo, you're a gentleman, and you love her too. For God's sake, stop them.
Bo glanced over his shoulder at Bruce and the others surging around close to his ankles, and he had on his poker face. Sid, I could tell, was once more going through the purgatory of decision. Bo reached his own decision first, and I'll say it for him that he acted on it fast and intelligently. Right from his kneeling position, and before he even turned his head quite back, he jumped Eric. But other things in this cosmos besides man can pick sides and act fast. Illy landed on Bo midway and whipped his tentacles around him tight, and they went wobbling around like a drunken white and silver barber pole. Bo got his hands each around a tentacle, and at the same time his face began to get purple, and I winced at what they were both going through. Maybe 7C had a hoof in Sid's purgatory, because Bruce shook loose from the satyr and tried to knock out Mark, but the Roman twisted his arm and kept him from getting in a good punch. Eric didn't make a move to mix into either fight, which is my little commandant all over, using his fists on anything but me is beneath him. Then Sid made his choice, but there was no way for me to tell what it was, for he reached for the minor maintainer. Cabby contemptuously snatched it away from his hands and gave him a knee in the belly that doubled him up in sympathy and sent him sprawling on his knees toward the fighters. On the return, Cabby gave Lily, who'd started to grab too, an effortless backhand smash that set her down on the divan. Eric's face lit up like an electric sign, and he kept his eyes fixed on Cabby. She crouched a little, carrying her weight on the balls of her feet and firmly cradling the minor maintainer in her left arm, like a basketball captain planning an offensive. Then she waved her free hand decisively to the right. I didn't get it, but Eric did, and Mark too, for Eric jumped for the refresher sector, and Mark let go of Bruce and followed him, ducking around Seven Seas' arms, who was coming back into the fight. On which side, I don't know. Billy unwhipped from Bo and copied Eric and Mark with one big spring. Cabby twisted a dial as far as it would go, and Bruce, Bo, Seven Sea, and Poor City were slammed down and pinned to the floor by about 8 gravities. It should have been lighter near us. I hoped it was, but you couldn't tell from watching City. He went flat on his face, spread-eagled, one hand stretched toward me so close I could have touched it, but not let go. And his mouth was open against the floor, and he was gasping through a corner of it, and I could see his spine trying to sink through his belly. Bruce just managed to get his head and one shoulder up a bit, and they all made me think of Dor illustration of the Inferno, where the cream of the damned are frozen up to their necks and ice in the innermost circle of hell. The gravity didn't catch me, although I could feel it in my left arm. I was mostly in the refresher sector, but I dropped down flat too, partly out of crazy compassion I have, but mostly because I didn't want to take a chance on having Cabby knock me down. Eric, Mark, and Illy had got clear. They headed toward us. Maud picked a moment to make her play. She hadn't much choice of times if she wanted to make one. The old girl was looking it for once. I guess the thought of her miracle must have survived, alongside the fear of sacked sun, and must have meant a lot to her, for she launched out fast, all set to straight-arm Cabby into the heavy gravity, and grabbed a minor maintainer with the other hand. Keep going or stop?
Oh, this is the end of page 4, so this is where we're stopping.
Okay.
And we're going to do Steve Bath next. Thank you.
Okay, cast for steam bath then. Are we ready for that?
Yeah.
Where are we starting, Ray?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I was thinking of starting where the 2 young men were from the last time we read the script, because I did add some more lines to that one that I got from the DVD.
What page?
Let's see, on the PDF, it's page 4 of the PDF, or 127.
Okay.
Got it.
If you want, we could start reading from the narrator around the campfire. Does someone else have a suggestion of the starting place? Page 4 on the PDF, the new one, part 7 that I sent out today. Did you get one? Did you see it?
Yes, I
Oh,
received it. So
okay.
page 5? 4?
Page 4, yeah, on the
Oh,
PDF.
Ray,
Yes.
the Merediths they're blanked out with pink, so I don't think you need me then. There's no dialogue.
Oh no, that part with the pink, just ignore that part. That's actually that's where a lot of script can be written in, and I just did that for myself. Those aren't lines for Meredith.
Oh, okay. I don't think
Yeah.
she has any though. from
I
what
don't think
can-
so in this particular part.
Yeah,
She
so
would
I'll
though. She would when I type them in for the next time, you know.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Well,
I'll
actually-
step down then.
We're gonna
We're
probably
gonna do
do this
this-
steam bath
Yeah.
all over from the beginning after I get the whole thing typed up from the DVD.
I voted
Because-
for it.
Yeah. because this whole script, the second half was extremely cut. A lot of lines were cut out by the narration instead of being, the narrator just told about the lines rather than the lines being spoken.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Ray, do I have
Yes.
parts?
Who's talking to me?
Myra. Phil.
Oh, well, did you want to do the longshoreman, who's also the customer? And you're already doing the broker, though.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Well, unless someone else wants it.
I mean, I could do it, but I think everybody else has a line. Groki, how about Groki? Let's see. Groki, how about
Rocky
you?
doesn't
I think
have sound. I don't.
it doesn't have sound. Okay.
No.
All right.
I can do it.
Vidad has just asked me to do Bieberman, so I'm going to try and do both. But
Oh, okay.
if someone would like that to do the Bieberman, I guess that's a possibility. Anyway, I'm up for it, but
Yeah, I did have David doing Bieberman,
yeah,
before.
he's
But he's gone. So
he's got some problems there. Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
so I could try both. I don't know. Hopefully.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm working and need to wrap something, but I'd love to hear Rocky's Paperman if you can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, flattery.
Okay.
Where are we starting?
Page 4 on the PDF.
The new one?
Yes, the new one, part 7, which is same as page 127 on the script.
Okay.
And we're going to start with the narrator around this campfire.
Got it.
Okay.
Around this campfire, it seems, they are all to tell their stories. The broker goes first. After 20 years, he begins to wonder why his partner was getting rich while he was having trouble making ends meet. The broker started asking questions, and his partner dismissed him with a check for $800. The broker went out to the golf course where he died with his head thrown back in a grotesque laugh and the $800 check in his lap. The two young men hanged themselves for love of the same boy.
We both hung ourselves for the love of the same boy, a swing dancer in the National Company of Zorba. We never realized we could love someone that...
Wait, I don't have that.
The two young men comes right after when you read the line, the two young men hang themselves.
It starts, a swing dancer in the National Company of Zorba. Oh, did you say?
Okay, well, if you probably didn't download, see, I added some here because you probably didn't download the new part 7 of the PDF.
Okay, just give me 1 second and I'll do it, okay?
Yeah,
Ray,
and yeah, go ahead.
do you want to alternate lines on that so you have two voices?
Yeah, I was thinking to alternate it before. I just didn't get around to discussing it, so I just thought I would read it. Who's talking to me? I can't see the...
Myra, Bill.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because we were going to read those in unison, but I didn't really talk to you, so we could do every other line.
It may go
okay.
easier that way.
Okay.
I have it.
All right.
Okay, the two young men hanged themselves for love of the same boy.
We both hung ourselves for the love of the same boy, a swing dancer in the National Company of Zorba.
We never realized we could love someone that indifferent.
Different. We loved the way he moved,
The rough carving of his arms.
the way the veins were printed on them,
We'd go to the all-night skating rinks.
and then, unaccountably,
He simply
He's-
left the show.
and went back to school in North Carolina.
totally unmarked by us, as though we had been a straight change in the direction of the wind.
Neither of us meant a thing to him.
We were no more than a pair of cats that crossed his path in a strange village and slowed his walk for a moment.
He was beautiful.
The attendant doesn't like fag stories and has already been irritated by Tandy's protestations. His Charlemagne routine. He warns Tandy that he's going to do something bad to him, and Tandy is genuinely frightened.
You're not going to put me in there, are you?
No,
Points to the old timer.
I'm putting him in there. You come in here. You're looking for fair, reasonable. Where would you get that from, old man?
My time, eh?
That's right, baby.
Well, that's okay. I done everything. I once had a pair of perfectly matched wooden-legged furlines powder me up from head to toe and dress me up in silk drawers. I run up against a Greek sailor walking around for 30 years with a lump on his chest he took to be a natural growth. Turned out to be the unborn fetus of a twin brother he'd spent all his life hankering for. I seen most everything. I dipped my beak in Madrid, Spain, Calcutta, India, Leningrad, Russia, and I never once worried about them poisoning the water. I had myself the 5th richest woman in Sydney, Australia. Genuine duchess she was, all dressed up in a tiger suit. By the time I got finished with her, I had them stripes going the wrong way. I played a pretty good trumpet. I had to face the fact that I was no Harry James, but then again, Sir Harry couldn't go in there and break up a Polish wedding the way I could. I talked back to the biggest guys. Didn't bother me. I didn't care if it was me way down in the valley hollering up at Mount Zion. I'd holler up some terrific retorts. You're not going to show me anything I haven't seen. I paid my dues.
Starts to go.
And I'll tell you something else. If there's anything in there kicks me, you watch and see if I don't bite.
He hitches himself up with great dignity and does a sailor's dance, then a proud old man's walk into the grated room.
Old man had a lot of balls.
You're damn right.
Tandy speaks to the attendant.
Listen, I was the wise guy. Why didn't you send me in there?
That's direct. I don't work that way. I always put a little spin on the ball.
The PR attendant calls for another story.
Okay, this is the last one. I want live actors this time.
This time to be acted out rather than narrated. The scene is set for a longshoreman's bar, with Gottlieb, the bartender, and the longshoreman, a customer. The customer begins speaking to the bartender.
A longshoreman's bar and a story at Queen's. I'll tell you how we are going to handle the Russians. We're going to take 6 of our toughest guys and 6 of their toughest guys, and we're going to send them all into a forest.
A couple comes into the bar. The man, an almost total cripple in a wheelchair, neck brace, etc. The girl pretty and short-skirted. The girl puts money in the jukebox and begins to dance to the rock tune. The longshoreman at the bar approaches her and suggests that he'd be better company with the cripple. The cripple throws off his braces and gets out of his wheelchair, revealing himself as an able, well-muscled, silver belt karate. Turns out to be Bieberman. He knocks the longshoreman down. The attendant is delighted with the story of how Bieberman and the girl would get their kicks and at the same time smoke out society's predators every Friday night. Bieberman wound up in the steam bath. He tells the attendant.
Because an Arab at the 92nd Street YMCA dropped a 200-pound barbell on my neck.
The attendant has enjoyed the story, but now it's time for the whole group to go through the grated door to make room for a new group coming in. The broker goes through the door, then the two young men. Bieberman is next, after making his farewells to Meredith.
Goodbye. My generation's out of style, I know that. But you'll never know the thrill of having belonged to it.
Starting through the grated door.
John, Hodiak, hold on. I'll be right with you.
The attendant orders Meredith and Tandy, the last two. Through the door, Meredith hesitates, and Tandy is adamant.
I'm not accepting this.
This, being cut off in the middle of a good Chinese dinner before he even had a chance to sample the main course. Tandy tells the attendant about his wife, Wendy, and how she went off with a new wave filmmaker, how her private parts were magnified on the screens in a huge close-up, how Tandy shrugged all this off, even went to see the movie. Tandy has been kind to his mother. He has quit his job at the police academy. One detective who was sworn to get him for this appears with gun in hand, but is quickly consigned to the grated door by the attendant. For the first time, Tandy believes his life is in order.
I'm closer than ever to my daughter. That trip to Vegas really brought us together. I'm doing work that I love. Warner Brothers saw the first 500 pages of my Charlemagne book, and I understood they like it for Steve McQueen.
20th is going to buy it for Charlton Heston.
Then you admit I'm getting out of here.
They're going to buy it from your state.
Look, I'm all clean and straight. I don't hate anybody. I love a lot of people. I'm at the goddamn starting line. I'm ready to breathe clean air. I tore myself inside out to get where I am, and I'm not taking anybody's space. I'm ready to cook a little, swing. What kind of fellow is that to snuff out?
A good fellow, but I'm snuffing him out anyway.
Where's your compassion?
I do plenty of good things. Half the things I do are good. Maybe even a little more. That's right. Maybe even a little more. Nobody notices them. I never get any credit. But I do plenty of good things. I make trees, forests, soccer fields. I let Hermias get better.
But you'll wipe out a guy like me and a lovely blonde girl like that.
Meredith.
Oh,
Oh,
listen. Listen. The blonde part shouldn't enter into it. I can see that.
I let you go. I let you go. I go to let the next guy go. Pretty soon, nobody's dead. You will have people coming out of for your ears. Have you seen Istanbul lately? Downtown Istanbul? Los Angeles?
Tandy offers to make a sacrifice, a burnt offering for the attendant if he would like it. He tries anger, calling the attendant names, but the attendant merely mocks him for blasphemy. Tandy is unrepentant.
When I was in that Chinese restaurant, and I lost my breath, and I had no feelings, and I was numb and white as a piece of typing paper, and I said over and over and over, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And told you, in my way, how much I treasured every drop of life. You weren't impressed. You didn't hear a whisper of it.
On the contrary, the attendant tells Tandy, he did hear him and supposed he might have an interesting story to tell. Otherwise, Tandy would have gone straight to the area behind the grated door. Only neurotics, freaks, those with stories to tell, come to the steam bath. Tandy threatens the attendant, then wrestles with Gottlieb and forces Gottlieb to reveal his master's weakness. The attendant can't stand mirrors. Tandy uses Meredith's purse mirror to make the attendant cringe, but he can't bring himself to follow through with this use of force. He puts the mirror away and lets Gottlieb go. After Meredith goes through the grated door with an au revoir to Tandy, the attendant admits,
You got a lot of nice qualities. To add and fill up, I'll let you know work around here for a while. Listen, what are you giving yourself such a hard time for? Suppose for a second I let you out of here. What will you do?
Tandy reminds the attendant of his exciting new life, his terrific new girl. If that is the case, Tandy asks himself,
How come I'm constantly chasing chicks all over the place?
well, he admits, maybe his new girl is a bit dull. Maybe he should look for a new one. He is always looking. Tandy continues to explain to the attendant why he absolutely urgently must get back to his life. He has so many things to do, so many friends who hang around this bar called the Quonset Hut, run by a dyke. There's no need for the attendant to interrupt Tandy, who is inevitably raising doubts about the worth of meaningless life, even as he tries to answer them.
These friends of mine, they're terrific people. They're a little screwed up in their personal lives. Most of them have been divorced 3 or 4 times, but very often those are the best people. The ones who get divorced over and over. Anyway, I want to do a lot more than that. Hanging around this dyke bar till 5 in the morning with my divorced friends talking about Milton and the Bronte sisters. And I have to get back to my book. Now I know what you're going to say, and I'm way ahead of you, that I have no real visceral interest in Charlemagne, that I just picked that subject because it has a prestige sound to it. Well, you're wrong. To me, it's just a loosening up process, a way of warming up the writing muscles so I can be ready for the real book I want to write on Vasco da Gama and the Straits of Magellan. Magellan?
Weak little laugh as though he's aware he's told a joke. No response from attendant.
No, seriously. You have to get the muscles limber. What you're saying is if I really wanted to write, I'd stop crapping around with Charlemagne. I see what you mean. You get more prestige from a truly observed book about cheeseburgers than you can from a schlock Charlemagne book. Boy, you really nailed that one down. I'll tell you what, let me smoke a cigar, all right?
Narrator, takes one out. Attendant has sat down and begun to arrange the cards for a game of solitaire.
I get these from Switzerland, from a guy who brings them in from Cuba. It costs you a little extra, but it's really worth it. They say you're supposed to stop smoking these when you get about halfway down, but I don't know. Sometimes I think the last half of the cigar is the best part. I can tell a Havana in one puff. It's not the tobacco so much as the rolling process they use. They have a secret rolling process that nobody's ever been able to pry away from the Cubans. If it kills me, I got to get back and have some more weekends with my daughter. Those weekends are the most beautiful part of my life now. I mean, there's no more hassle, no more crazy marriage in the background. It all gets telescoped down to just me and her hanging around together.
Looks at attendant for response. Doesn't get one.
So you're asking me how come I'm always going crazy, thinking of places to take her? How come I'm always dragging her to puppet shows? Well, all I can say is that it's the city's fault. Where the hell are you supposed to take a kid in the city? If we were out in a farm, it'd be a different story. But I do see what you mean, Jesus. You really know how to zing it in there. What you're driving at is that I have to keep taking her places because I actually have nothing to say to her. Maybe I don't even like kids. She'd be better off staying home and hanging around with a pack of little girls.
Handling cigar.
A guy once told me the reason for the special flavor of these Havana cigars is that the tobacco is supposed to be rolled on the thighs of Cuban women. Jesus, wouldn't that be something? I got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. I got things to do.
Attendant continues his game of solitaire. The last sound heard is the flicking of the cards. Curtain.
That's the end of this script.
Ta-da!
Thank you. Wow.
It's going to be quite a bit different, though, when it gets retyped.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a little time to do it. Don't
Okay,
take too
thanks.
long.
Right.
And you,
Oh, it's interesting. Is that actually the end of the story? Because I remember watching it and it actually ends a bit differently.
It does end differently on the DVD, a lot different. So yeah, I just didn't have time to type it up, all of it, at the end. But we're gonna redo the whole steam bath.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was fun listening today. Some really, really nice reading today.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
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 You two young men, you did really good there. Really nice.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. If Myra wants to, we're gonna do some practicing on that. But I thought that was pretty cool how it turned out.
Yeah. We need this is a rehearsal.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Myra, why don't you get some people up there? We still have a little bit of time.
Okay. I'll need Lorelila as Mary. Actually, let's see. Hold on here. We're doing 53. We're backing up just slightly. I mean, just like a paragraph or so, because there's a very interesting thing to start with. So I'll need a lot of people, though. So we'll be starting from page 53, and I'll need, if I could have Lorelila as Mary. Let's see, I believe. John is Ray, and if I could have, I'll need Rocky as Jesus.
Thank you, my son.
And okay, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to have Lorelila as Peter.
Peter. Okay.
Peter's comments come in pretty close to the start. I'd like to start on page 53 with "He rose slowly." So the narrator is John, and that is Lost. If I could have as Lost here, yeah, he is. Okay, great. If you could take the narrator John, that would be good. And you'll be starting off with "He rose slowly, his body stiff."
What page did you say?
Page 53, which would be the first page of the new PDF.
Oh, okay.
It's about halfway.
I'm
down.
sorry, this doesn't match what I have for parts. So what part am I playing? Or reading?
you're going to be the narrator, which is John,
Okay.
and which is like the main read.
Okay, and according to the marking here, this paragraph that says restart,
Yes.
where it says he rose slowly.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then you can see where Peter comes in, and then we have Lazarus on page 55 and Martha. Lazarus was Muscle Spark. If I could have, I don't know, Vidal, is he still here or has he left?
I'm here, but I'm sitting out today.
Okay. Okay. Let me have, okay, Ray.
Yeah.
am I assigned-
Well,
am
you
I
said
assigned-
John at first, but then you said the narrator was John, so I'm kind of confused on that.
Okay. Well, why don't you take Lazarus? Can you do that
Okay.
on page 55?
Yeah, I'm not seeing
Oh,
that
that's-
on this.
Okay, that would be the third page.
Third page, okay.
Third PDF. It should be marked
Okay.
near the top. And Martha, if I could have Laura be Martha.
Is the top of that one, is this the story, the big time?
No, this is
Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw one thing I was confused about.
And there's only
Yeah, that would
Oh,
be,
that's right. Lazarus, that would make sense. Okay.
there's only 5 minutes, guys. So
Oh, let's
okay,
go.
So we will go. Yeah, Lost. If you could start us off, if we. Oh, yeah. Take one.
He rose slowly, his young body as stiff as mine from the cold and damp. That is Jesus talking there.
oh, sorry. I was looking for a big JC. All right, here we are then. We think we do everything for others, but it's only that the others know what is best for us.
Thank you, Lord, I said as we parted. For the next 4 months, our progress was steady and strong. Jesus continued to be in no mood to experiment, but he delivered the traditional words with great persuasiveness. Afterward, with us, he went to considerable lengths to be obliging, even cheerful. The change had inspired all of us, except Peter. He watched everything warily, his great, obtuse face wrinkled from the strain of thinking. "Isn't it fine now?" I asked him one day.
Now it's fine. How will it be later?
"If you wanted guarantees," I replied, "you should have stayed in your old business."
You haven't seen what I've seen. You're a young man, John.
For that observation, I could forgive him his denseness. It was at a meeting soon afterward that I took extended notes because I heard parting for the first time from his prepared text. Later, my notes were confiscated, and what I record here is a mere outline. The departure began when someone challenged one of the parables, the prodigal son or the payment in the fields. Jesus had often been chastised for offering a reformed sinner greater honor than the man who never strayed. This time I recall that he began by saying,
I have heard it said that I teach slavery and submission. That is not true. I offer a doctrine of mastery over the only slave worth subduing, mastery of a man over his own spirit. From birth, some men are generous and kind, gentle and good, or they have been given natures that permit all virtues to be implanted early and harvested throughout a lifetime. In saying this, I do not disparage the meek. Their rewards will match their merit. But there are other men who are not mild, men who hate fiercely and forever, men who strike when struck, men who see no meanness in revenge. Those are the men whose return to God sets off such great rejoicing. Among the others who are good without effort, there should not, cannot be envy. They have been spared temptation, and for that they sacrifice triumph. So do not say among yourselves that God cares only for the pure, or welcomes only the innocent. God loves all men. If he can forgive me, there is none among you who cannot be saved.
Well received though they were, these remarks were taken as nothing more than new proof of Jesus' humility. From subsequent events, we know that he was offering us a warning, but who broods about the dark edge of a shining sky or the first chill of a summer afternoon?
Great. This is a good place to stop right here.
Yes, definitely. That's very nice. Very nice. We can sit on the edge of our seats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good reading.
Yeah.
Good reading. So we got a cliffhanger, and we'll be back with Jesus Christ next week. Ray's gonna work on Steam Bath for us so that we can do a fuller version. Next week we should have chapter 5 of The Star's My Destination, and we're getting close on the end of the big time. So, anybody got any other stories? If you do.
By the way, I already sent out chapter 5, so I think everybody has it who needs it. Let me know if that's not the case. And if I manage to get in another chapter, I'll send that out this week.
Oh, that would be great. Okay. So, thank you all, and see you next week and in World. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention, because I just really became aware of it myself, that it seems that we have a peace dance every morning at the circle.
Yeah.
Is that true? Okay.
8:30.
I didn't. 8:30. Okay.
Monday to Friday.
So, yeah,
Different times
know
on the weekend.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see schedules, but I just thought I'd mention it. It seems like it's well attended, but certainly if you have your avatar in, you might as well put her there, even if you're not there. Tonight at 7 on live stream, work of groups, week number 12. We should have David, Patricia, and Ivan, I expect, and hope you can make it. Otherwise, see you later. Thank you. Take care.
Yes. Thanks
Bye.
all.